Hi everybody, welcome back. It's almost Valentine's Day. Woohoo! See, love for everybody. We're going to have our little holiday for Valentine's Day centerpiece or floral arrangement for yourself or to give to your loved one. So we're going to start with our container. We're just going to use this cute bucket I got with little Valentine hearts on it. And we're going to be using foam. It's a lot easier to get all these flowers in using foam, I found. Foam instead of a vase. You get a big full arrangement this way. I do have, let's get this out here, I have a plastic liner holding the foam, just because I'm not certain that this will leak or not, just to be careful. Let's have that liner in there. I have 1/3 of a brick of foam, and here's your foam as in the dry form. You'll want to cut your foam to fit your container first. So I did 1/3 of this piece, is this in here. Pre-soaked it, just set it on the water, seep it down all by itself, never force it in the water. That's the standard, using foam anytime. So let it seep down, just cut what you need, and then you can save the rest for another project. I taped it down with my waterproof tape just to hold it in place. It's not necessary if you're just staying at home, but this is kind of for traveling. And then we have our cute little container. So you're going to want to make sure you're always adding water to this liner. And if it always has water in here, that's the best for these flowers, just so they will last longer for you. And I find that you almost want to slip this out and want to go over to the sink and get the faucet in there so you don't miss and get it all over the table or all over the couch or wherever. All right, so we have some mixed bouquets I made up for you, and we're going to use leather leaf to green, of course, and there is a few, I noticed some spots on the back of the leaves. Those are just spores, they're not bugs. It's just part of the reproduction of ferns, so don't worry about that. You can hide that in there. And of course we have baby's breath. First, here's miniature carnations in a couple colors. Also spray carnations, you can call them that too. We have our daisy pomps, a couple stems. You may have more depending on how many flowers. I kind of was just going by the flower count. And here is our baby's breath mixed in. And then some tulips. We're using tulips this time. All right. So let's get started with the leather leaf. We're going to cut this down into smaller sizes. And you'll see it has a nice point here, and then there's little sizes all the way down. Anything broken, you can just pinch off. So I'm going to start by getting a nice tip. I'm going to cut it right here. I got a nice tip right there. I'm using a knife, but you can use your pruner just the same. I'm going to go to here, take off another set of 2, and I'll just leave these guys together and make a shorter stem. So I'm going to continue cutting these into smaller pieces. Here again, a nice tip. Couple more, and this guy does have a little bit of spore on the back, but we're going to hide that in the arrangement. Now when they get bigger like this, you can either leave them together or take them apart, because they are almost a good enough size at that point too. I know some of these greens can be very large and some can be very small, so you'll have to make that call when you're looking at yours, because I know I had some that were very large, so you'll have a lot of big pieces. But basically you're just making assorted sizes. I start with that tip there, do groupings of 2, work my way around the whole arrangement, something like that I'm not going to bother with. Just cut a couple more here, and that should be good. Okay, so we got all our mixed pieces, and I'm going to pick out my little pile of greens, a couple nice tips. We're not going to get those ones with the spores I see, because this is going to be more a profile piece, so you don't want to see that. Somebody might think they're bugs. You don't want that for Valentine's Day. So a couple pieces like so. We're going to stick those right in the middle, kind of almost forward, facing each other on an angle. And then we'll take some smaller pieces. Now I can even use this double one. You know, I want a nice clean cut, so clean cut with a knife or a pruner. Angle cut is nice to give a little more surface area, but just as long as it's not a raggedy end. So you're going to do the 4 sides. If you see how I came all the way down to the edge of the container, right into along the edge, and then we'll do another a little shorter stem. We do not need really long stems to go in here, only about an inch or so. You'll start running into each other inside the foam. So we're going to keep it real clean. We'll do 4 sides, all 4 sides of your foam. Let's see. And if you have a couple long ones, you can slip those off, clean it up a little. So here we go. I got 4 sides right to the edge of the container and the 2 guys on top. And then we'll just take the rest of these, and I'm going to make this one even smaller. And we're going to start filling in all over. So you can keep those doubles and even stick some in on an angle. Let's see. And work your way around the whole thing, slipping off any greens that are going to go into the foam so you have a nice clean stem again. Just work your way around. Slip those greens off the bottom. Oops. There we go. We're just about there. I don't need to be too full. We got to get all these other flowers in here. But just so you're kind of coverage on that foam so you don't see a hole or anything. Okay? And you don't need to go too far over the side. In fact, I think I'm going to trim this one. It looks a little long. Kind of in size with the container, so you can see. Oops, this guy's out there. Okay. So you can see it's full, but not totally full. You can still see that foam inside there. And I got all sides all the way down to the edge of my container. So I think I'm going to put this one back in right there, and we're good to go. Okay, so we're going to start with, let's start with these tulips. They're going to probably be the most challenging on this whole arrangement just because they have those fleshy stems. And tulips are just starting to open. They're still small and tight, but they'll grow. So they're actually going to stretch another inch or so. But they're nice and fresh. You can almost snap them when they're that fresh, and you'll have that nice clean cut. But you can also use this leaf if you want. If it's in a good shape, it's not ripped up, give it a good cut. So I'm going to use all 5 tulips. We'll start with one up here on the side. It's going to be taller. And then I could use this little leaf here. Now it's not necessarily necessary to use this leaf. Sometimes I like the variety of greens in there, but I'm not sure that leaf will last forever anyway. So it's more about the flowers. That's the most important. So we're going to do 1, 2. I'm actually going to start here with one taller, one a little shorter. Let's continue with that. Another cut here. 1, 2, 3, a little shorter again. And they're looking out from the center towards the person if they're sitting around the table. So they're looking away from the center. We'll start with the tall one in the middle. Oops, I got a bonus one here. I'm supposed to have 5. And we'll stick the other 2 a little lower. And don't go too tall on these because, like I said, they're going to stretch out and reach for the light, and then they'll be sticking out way too far. I think you'll have more control if you keep them a little shorter. Even this one's feeling tall to me. Go a little shorter again. So you can almost see how I did this tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're coming down to the edge. They're looking away from the center. And it has a circular shape already. Now, like I said, you could use some of these leaves if they're not beat up like this. You don't want that. But if you had a nice fresh leaf, this one looks nice and fresh. You can add a couple just for some added interest. It gives it a natural look. Yeah, this guy looks pretty good too. We'll use him. There you go. Tulips are cool flowers, so they don't like heat. You don't want to keep those in a warm spot or in the sun or near any heating, vent or anything like that. So you can get the longest life out of those. All right, so then let's go with these miniature carnations. We used to call them elegants back in the day. These are just miniature carnations now. I don't know where that elegance name came from. But they're all in different size opening, and this actually, I have a hot pink, a light pink, and a red, but I think they're assorted in all my bouquets here. And so what I like to do, I'm going to take off, if I have a nice long stem, I can use him like that, and then these 3, since they're not too long, I can just leave them together. Now I'm going to not cut right below this knob because then I have this heavy knob going into the foam. I'm going to go right above it. And you saw how I pulled those leaves right off. I don't want to have any leaves going into the foam. So I'm going to start with this one with the cute buds up on top. And he's going to give me some height. So he's just going to be right underneath, or she's pink. I like pink, it's good for anybody. But just below that top flower. And then I'll take this one over here and move that to this side. So I'm mixing the colors around. Let's see, we'll go a little lower. Always looking out towards your people. So here again, we're just going to snip these right off. These all seem very long. If you can get longer stems, the more flowers separate is better. Then you'll have more color throughout. So let's continue with this. I'm going to start putting some a little lower, all the way down to the edge, just like we did with that leather leaf. In fact, since I have so many of these, I'm going to kind of work that around so I have a little red everywhere. So all the way around. That's the color red. That's the Valentine color, right? So another one we'll do up top. There we go. Between my pinks. So I varied the heights. I got taller, shorter ones to the edge, sort of mixed through. Now here's my other stem. I'll even use some of these buds. They may not open, but they're showing color, so the different size opening is always looking good. All right, so I keep working, and I'm just kind of going at it. I'm going to actually take that one. The more flowers I can get, the better. So that's why I broke it down. Don't go too short though, because then you'll run out and you'll have a really tight, compact arrangement. So nothing shorter than that. That's about 5 inches. So here, all the way down to the edge on this side. One more over here. I'm going to use all these little buds, and you can sneak some of them in between. They can be sunk in a little deeper. That gives a little depth to the arrangement. I think I got them all in. So pretty much looks pretty full with those flowers. And then we have our white daisies. So these are going to be our fillers. Always pulling those leaves off. And the pruners would be good at this point, but we can just do this. Cut them off with my knife. I usually start at the bottom and work my way up. So in case the stems aren't long enough, I could leave them on the main stem to get some with some height. Now this guy's got a little bendy neck, so he's not going to come to the party. Take him off. So I pretty much just cleaned this up, and I could still get this one in here. It doesn't have very long stem, but he's going to get stuck in way down low. And then these other sized ones, let me grab a couple more of these since I got another stem here. Cut them all off first. We can see different lengths on the stem. And you want to get as many long stems as you can, okay? So that's why I work from the bottom up, and I can create a long stem if I need it, like that. So now I have one that's a little longer than the rest. So that means that taller ones are going to go towards the center. And we'll slip that one in here between those tulips and carnations. That's going to be right below that focal point right there. Now these shorter ones we have, short works perfect along the edge. So when it's looking out at you, don't have it look at the table, turn it so it's looking up at you. There you go. And then we'll just work our way around here, sticking some shorties on the sides. Let's see. Do another one there. I'm just going to work my way through this whole thing, filling it in the blanks. Okay? Couple more, we'll just use them all, and this will really fill it up. So this one, see how he's got a bent neck? We're just going to make that turn so it's not looking in, it's looking out at your people. Looking at all the people, admiring your flower arrangement. Okay, and so I'm just working my way around, making sure I come all the way down to the edge. Some are on top, some are inside, and now it's really getting filled in here. Couple more. So there's all my daisies, and that's getting quite full. So that's where the last filler, our baby's breath, and this is Excellence Gypsophilia. It's baby's breath, but Excellence, it's its variety. So I like to make little clumps. As you saw, I just whipped that off without talking about it. We'll just take little clumps like this. And you have to make pieces. The more little pieces you have, the more you're going to have in your arrangement. So I'm actually going to go and make a couple smaller pieces too. And something like this, if I really need more, I can actually take another piece. So you see how I'm taking little clumps, breaking that apart. Another one. Okay. So short ones, again, same rules. Short on the shorter, lower side of the arrangement. Get you in there. Nice clean cut. We'll take any taller pieces you may have, like this one's just a bit taller. He can go right in the middle, in between everybody else. Slip them in there. Don't break anybody getting it in there. And you can almost fan out the baby's breath, just help it kind of spray open. Okay? And then we'll just keep going until we use it all up here. Oh, that one's stuck there. There we go. I'm just going to work my way all the way around. Cute. This guy doesn't want to go. There we go. And see how I just kind of open up the baby's breast so it's spreading into more areas. It's not just a big clump in one spot. Okay. But just even that baby's breath didn't seem like a whole bunch, but once you break it down, you get a lot more flowers to go around. So, all right, we're just about that. All I need is my little embellishment. We're just going to do a little embellishment with some little love pick, little heart. Everybody loves those little picks. A little heart in it. So that's a cute little arrangement, and I'm sure anybody would love to get that one. And add a little card, and you're all set. So happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for watching.